Protect your car with 3W Liners all-weather floor mats. Made from durable materials like TPE and rubber, our mats are designed to withstand rain, snow, and mud with deep grooves to trap dirt and liquids. For a custom fit and advanced protection, visit 3W Liners. That's the number 3, WLINERS.com today. At Acasis, innovation drives us. Since 2008, we've been creating cutting-edge technology products that make your life easier. With a focus on performance, design, and customer service, we're here to help you work smarter, not harder. Join us on our journey to simplify your world. Visit acasis.com today. That's ACASIS.com today.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farms, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com. Unlock a world of convenience with Mully Box, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. From gourmet snacks to unique finds, each box is tailored to your tastes. Experience the joy of surprises. Subscribe today at mullybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com. We are Rogue Media Sports.
Hello and welcome. It is the Cam Show on Rogue Media Sports Network, live on YouTube, just as we are every weekday, high noon Eastern Time and then wherever you get your podcasts as well. I'm Cam Stewart. Zach Burke keeps us on the air. We talk nothing but Boston sports and the things adjacent to it. Today, we're talking about Jayson Tatum and why it might just be finally his time that he is taking over this league. One championship wasn't enough, but what he's showing us right now might well be. Speaking of taking over the league, Alex Bregman, man, how about that free agent signing from Craig Breslow and hefty help from Alex Cora? Bregman has been awesome in this first month of the season, but is he just going to end up being the next Adrian Beltre? We'll discuss that as well. Plus, Zach and I will go over some of the best conspiracy theories in sports history. Which ones are real? Which ones are just mere conspiracy? All that and more coming up on this episode of The Cam Show. We start with Jayson Tatum. Jayson Tatum is undoubtedly one of the best players in the league. No matter what you hear from ESPN, Kendrick Perkins, Sports Talk Radio, no matter what you hear, he's one of the best players in the league. He's All-NBA, first team, 3 straight years. He's going to do it for a 4th straight year when they announce that in a couple weeks. He is one of the 5 or 6 best players in the league consistently, year in, year out, and he's coming off a torrid playoff series. And coming off winning the NBA championship last year, younger than Jordan and LeBron won their first NBA championship and led his team in scoring, rebounding, and assists throughout the entire playoff run in which they went 16-3 and were one of the greatest teams of the 21st century. That wasn't enough because you still hear the disrespect for Jayson Tatum all the time. We heard it as recently as last week in his own home market in Boston Sports Talk Radio. And I'm not saying we need to get on the radio every day and just fillet the guy, but still questioning his toughness when he plays every game available to him and he never misses playoff games. He's missed one in his entire career. And the first time he misses a playoff game, we're questioning his toughness. Even the shoulder injury battled through in the 2022 NBA Finals when he looked bad and nobody took that into account. Now is when we question his toughness. The one game he misses out of 120 playoff games in his career. And I think what we're starting to see, and I'm not going to overblow the magic in the first round, but I think what we are starting to see attitude-wise from Jayson Tatum is the flip of a switch. And it's Jayson Tatum saying, fuck you, to the rest of the league and everyone else around him. Paolo Banchero gets in his ear, very good, young, talented player, saying, the last 5 years were yours, the next 5 years are mine. And he needed to sit him down and say, slow your roll, youngin', okay? I'm still here. And he was. Banchero doesn't have any help around him, but Tatum was dominant in this series. So after he misses game 2, with the wrist injury, all he does after that is go 3 straight playoff games with 35-plus points. The only Celtic ever to do that outside of Jayson Tatum is a guy named Larry Bird. So again, the numbers were impressive before, but now it looks like he's giving you a sneak preview of taking it to another level here. And what did he get? He gave you like 36, 8, and 10 in a clinching game, shooting 60% from 3 and 80% from 100% from the free throw line. I think it was 60% from the floor, 80% from 3. Like just stupid numbers. And it was on NBA TV. Congrats for the Celtics. You're not going to get any recognition from that. But what we've been waiting for Tatum, all the people that have had questions about Tatum the last couple of years, right? First and foremost, can he win a championship? Can he lead a team to a championship? Can he be a best player on a championship team? Emphatic, yes. Yes, comfortably the best player on a championship team. Led them in every major statistical category. And they were dominant. They were 80-21. Big check. Then you start questioning his toughness. Can he play through a physical series? This was the most physical series he's played in since, I would even argue, like the 22 Miami series. Like, I don't even think 23 reached this level. Like, they were hacking a shack there in Orlando. And does he come out the better? Absolutely. Again, 3 straight games of 35-plus points. Big check mark there. The only other thing would be NBA Finals MVP, because some people really blow that out of proportion. He could, like, it was splitting hairs to give it to Jaylen Brown over Jayson Tatum last year. Not that Brown was undeserving. I think we were all fine with it. But you look at the numbers, and Tatum is right there as well. Tatum probably, I mean, he had to be the second in votes. He could have just as easily gone to him, but that's what people care about. Larry Bird did not win Finals MVP in his first NBA Finals, by the way. Cedric Maxwell did, and he's going to make sure you don't hear the end of it because it wasn't mentioned at all in Celtic City. So Jayson Tatum has now fought through the physical series. We thought the Magic might have found the blueprint on him and on the Celtics. They did not. They won one game. It was by 2 points and a final possession that the Celtics should have had a full second, and they weren't given that. So it could have just as easily been a sweep if they had put the time back on the clock. And what I'm hoping that Tatum will do now is to start taking this personally. He's letting it roll off his back. He's done that his whole career. But when you look at the best players in the history of sports, the great winners, right? And I'm talking Jordan, Brady, Tiger, those guys took it all personally, all of it. They were never trying to be the bigger person. They were just trying to obsessively get better every single day and shove it right back in your face. Okay? They weren't trying to buddy with everyone in the league like just about every sport is now, but especially the NBA. They're not trying to do that. And I think there hasn't been quite that mentality from Tatum. And you can still win a championship without it. By the way, I don't even know if LeBron necessarily has that mentality. He's had a heck of a career for himself, right? So it's not a prerequisite to being a great player. But I think if you want to be one of those greats, and if you're not one of those, you're seen as corny, you've got to have that kind of attitude. His idol, Kobe Bryant, he had it. One of the 20 greatest players in the history of the NBA, 5 NBA championships. Bill Russell, 11 championships. You don't think he took that shit personally? He took that out on every motherfucker in the league, man. And anybody who talks shit about him. This is what it needs to be for Tatum. I would call it a revenge tour, but he just won the title. But in a way it is, because after he wins the championship, I know he's thinking, I'm finally going to get that validation that every athlete wants. And he didn't get it. He did not get it. In Boston, he did. But even then, by the next NBA playoffs, it kind of wore things out. Sports Talk Radio is talking about him not being tough, right? And so he doesn't get that validation even from Boston 6 months later, 8 months, 9 months later. But right away, after he wins the title, what does he do? He goes to the Olympics, and he's told by Steve Kerr, I don't have a spot for you. You just won the NBA title. You've been all NBA first team the last 3 years, but how am I going to play you? I have to play 11 guys. How can I play Jayson Tatum? That's when you need to really start taking shit personally as a one person rather than just the team, which he's always thinking about. And we might have unlocked this here. We kind of said it in jest in July that Steve Kerr might have unlocked something. It didn't necessarily look that way during the regular season because it's not like Tatum put up almost an MVP caliber season. You know, like he should be top 5 in the voting. He's going to be all NBA first team again. But the first playoff series, I think we have seen it awoken in him. I think when Joe Mazzulla is yelling, get up, his own coach is yelling, get up when he's hurt on the ground, that kind of evokes the Steve Kerr. He starts to hear it again. He starts to hear all the doubters. We might have unlocked something here, okay? We might have gotten a next level Jayson Tatum, which is the only other thing that the rest of the league needs to see. Of course, in a jury of his peers, I think he was like second or third on the list of who I'd want to start a team around, build a franchise around. People wanted to start around him more than they wanted to start it around LeBron, who's now 2-12 in his last 14 playoff games. You heard that right. You heard that right. It's that next level for Tatum. I think he can still reach another level as a player. That's not to say he's not great already, but I think he can be a better three-point shooter. So ergo, he can have a next level as a player. But you've thrown all you can at him through age 27 here, 26, whatever he is. You've thrown what you can. I think he's 26. 27. You've tried, going star for star against him, Giannis as a defending champ. It didn't work. You start to get really, really physical with him. It worked for Miami a couple of times. It doesn't work anymore. The guy is bigger. He is stronger. He is now in his prime. Now. Like 27, that's when guys are in their prime as pro athletes. He accomplished all that great stuff before hitting his prime. And now we're going to see him taking it to another level here. He misses one game. Jaylen Brown has a nice game. I think he scored 36 in that game. But then Tatum comes back and he says, it's my team. And he showed us again. So you can continue to call him corny. Like, go ahead. But you're disingenuous because you can't prove what is corny, what is not. Like, you can't. But it'd be disingenuous to say that he's soft. It would be disingenuous to say that he's not one of the top 5 players in the NBA. And it would be disingenuous to say that he's not the one that probably scares you the most in the NBA playoffs right now. He's been there and done that. And when we got to the finals last year, people were still saying like, oh, but now it's Luka. Now he's facing off against Luka Doncic, and they've got the best player in the series. Maybe even the best 2 players in the series, which was ridiculous. And the Celtics showed how ridiculous it was. And now where's Luka? Working on a short game and hitting the hookah bar afterwards. Where's LeBron? He's not going to be there. Giannis, he's not going to be there. SGA will be there, the guy who might win the MVP. Jokic isn't going to be there. Ant isn't going to be there. So then you're just talking about Tatum and SGA. And I would love that matchup. I think the Thunder can give the Celtics all kinds of fits. I think it would be a great series. But Tatum is ascending to another level, and I don't know that the league notices it, and I don't know that the league and the greater NBA media is ready for it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Is Jayson Tatum hitting something of a Larry Bird type of level here for the Boston Celtics? He's got to win a couple more titles, but he might be well on his way. Let me know in the comment section below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Find us on YouTube live every weekday, high noon Eastern time, and wherever you get your podcasts. Check out the other videos on the channel about Boston sports going out every day. I'm your host, Cam Stewart. Zach Burke keeps us on the air 5 days a week. Coming up, Alex Bregman. It was a great month of April. And boy, am I ready to bring you guys down. Is he the next Adrian Beltre? Let's talk about it next on The Cam Show.
We'll be right back after these quick words from our sponsors. This is Rogue Media Network.
BizChair.com, your one-stop shop for premium commercial furniture that blends quality with affordability. From ergonomic office chairs to durable restaurant seating, we cater to diverse industries including corporate, medical, hospitality, and education. With over 20 years of experience, we offer fast shipping, exceptional customer support, and furniture solutions that stand up to high-traffic environment. Elevate your space with BizChair's vast selection of stylish, reliable, and cost-effective furniture. Visit us today at BizChair.com to transform your business. At Mitzi, we believe the right light can transform any space. Born from a third-generation lighting family, we craft beautifully designed, premium lighting that's made to be affordable. Inspired by Grandma Mitzi's eclectic style, we're on a mission to make high-quality lighting accessible to all. Whether you're updating your space or adding a unique fixture, Mitzi has the perfect design for you. Beautiful, well-made lighting without the high price tag. Discover your perfect light at Mitzi.com. That's MITZI.com. Mitzi. Founded in 1910, Samsonite is the world leader in durable, high-quality luggage and travel accessories. Made to the highest standards, our products won't let you down. We give you the confidence to get out there and explore. Inspired by the past, devoted to the present, and built to inspire a multi-generational future, Samsonite is here to elevate your journey. Travel with Samsonite and pack confidence every step of the way. Shop now at shop.samsonite.com. The grinder mentality that Randy and Brent Habert built into 44 Pro runs deep within our team. Every member shares a passion for the craft, the game, and most importantly, the player. When you step onto the field with a 44 Pro custom glove, you'll feel the difference. It's not just a glove, it's a 44 Pro. Crafted with dedication, made for performance, and built to last. Get your custom glove today at 44pro.com and experience the 44 Pro difference. That's 44pro.com, 44 Pro.
And now, back to our show.
I love that 44 Pro. Do you think they could hook me up with a baseball glove? I mean, not that I'm playing a ton of baseball these days, but I love having a glove. I think that's something we need to talk about with Mike Hamilton and the 44 Pro boys. Anyway, this is the Cam Show on Rogue Media Sports Network. I'm your host, Cam Stewart. We come to you live on YouTube every weekday, high noon Eastern time. And then, of course, wherever you get your podcasts as well. We're talking Boston sports. Right now, we're talking the Red Sox. We talked the Celtics and Jayson Tatum in the first segment. Let's talk about Alex Bregman right now. Alex Bregman has been knocking the cover off the ball for the Red Sox in the month of April. Man, he looks like a bargain, even at $40 million a year, kind of. We all know how that contract's loaded a little bit. But he's got a player option after this year. It's technically a 3-year deal, but it could basically only be a 1-year deal. And Bregman was awesome, man. In his first 30 games, 331, 6 homers, 23 RBI. He adds to that total last night in game number 31. Second in MLB in doubles, third in MLB in total hits. He is absolutely crushing it. And how about this through the first month? 26 games, 119 plate appearances, 350 average, 429 on base, 660 slugging, 1.089 OPS, 7 homers, 11 doubles, 24 RBI. And by the way, this is usually the worst month of his career. Bregman always starts slow in April. But here are the Astros fans watching baseball through their hands for the first time in a decade, seeing that the best hitter in the AL right now, outside of Aaron Judge, is Alex Bregman, and the best hitter in the NL is Kyle Tucker. The 2 guys they let walk have been terrific. And I have been preggy for Breggy, man. I have been all over the Alex Bregman train this first month of the season. I love having him on the team. I know this is, a breakout first month, but there's no reason to believe that after this, he can't carry on into a season of 25 homers and 100 RBI if he stays healthy. And he has no major injury concerns really in his career. So there's no reason to believe that he can't reach those numbers. And then you get an interesting decision, because those kind of numbers would show a bounce back year for Alex Bregman at age 30 and could really get him some money on the open market. Okay? He got some pretty good money on the open market this year, coming off a bad year by his standards. Now, what if he takes a 25 homer, 100 RBI season into free agency? Then what? Then what do you do? Which reminds me of another third baseman the Red Sox had in my lifetime that had 1 season with the team and was pretty damn good. That's Hall of Famer Adrian Beltre. It's one of the great misses in Red Sox history. Theo Epstein, in that book, The Cubs Way, which was written by Tom Verducci, said it was half of his biggest regret with the Red Sox. The real one was that he signed Carl Crawford in that next offseason, which was a huge mistake. And he said, we just kind of panic bought there when we could have just locked up Adrian Beltre. They didn't do it. So Beltre goes on to the Rangers. And it is important to remember at the time, Beltre had a 1-year deal with the Red Sox because he had a bad tenure with the Mariners by his standards. All his numbers went down. It looked like his career was on life support at age 31. And he came to the Red Sox, had that breakout year, then goes to the Rangers and continues to be a Hall of Famer, right? With Bregman, it's not necessarily that case. He comes off 1 down year. The Astros decide to move on. And here he is knocking the cover off the ball again. And he loves Fenway. He has his whole career. He's hit really well at Fenway. So, again, it's reasonable to project a 25-homer, 100 RBI season or somewhere close to it, hitting in the middle of this order, which should have a lot of guys on base. Looking back at Beltre's 2010 season, oh, man. By the way, his April was his worst month. He only hit 5 doubles, no homers, 9 RBI. He only had 80 at-bats in the month of April. Now he finishes with, 49 doubles, 28 homers, and 102 RBI, hitting 321 and going for a 919 OPS for the whole season. That sounds like a season Alex Bregman could put up right now. And then Then what do? You've got good prospects in the pipeline right now. You don't have a third baseman. And I don't think at this point you can DH Rafi Devers for a whole year and then just say, okay, Rafi, back to third base. You're going to be in a heck of a predicament if Alex Bregman continues to have the year he's having and has something like a Beltre 2010 season. It's not crazy to think he'll be close to that 28 homers, 102 RBI. Then we're going to really see if this ownership wants to put their balls on the table and continue to spend money to have a contender. Because that went against everything they had under the Theo model, and it bit them in the ass with Adrian Beltre, with another third baseman with a similar hitting profile. You went out and you got some guys right now, right? You spent some money on Bregman, but that was with an eye towards we're going to have some big-time prospects coming up that are going to be dirt cheap for a while. And then we're going to do the Braves thing. We're going to sign them to extensions like Christian Campbell and hope that's a bargain in 5 years. With Bregman, it's not going to be that way. Bregman already getting paid $40 million a year on a 3-year deal with a player option, after year one, essentially a 1-year, $40 million deal. He's going to try to hit market, and at age 31, he's going to get a 5-year deal. He might get a 6, 7, or 8-year deal with what you saw with the Bogarts thing at age 30 with a guy who's at shortstop who couldn't play. His days were numbered at shortstop, right? He got an 8-year deal, or whatever it was. Bregman is going to demand more than a 3-year deal coming off a season like this if he's going to hit these projections. That is when we're going to see the mettle of this Red Sox ownership brass and what kind of money they are willing to spend. Outside of that, we just need to let this play out, I guess. But I'm just fascinated by how the Red Sox ownership and Craig Breslow are going to handle this, because also in kind of the shadows of this is Alex Cora's guy. Cora definitely convinced Breslow to go and get him. And I don't know if he had any kind of ultimatum of like, I'm going to walk after the season or anything, signed the new contract last year, whatever. But this was clearly a move that, outside of helping the team, was also to appease the manager. And if he has this MVP level kind of season in year one, the way he's having through 1 month, and they don't re-sign him, that's going to have a bad trickle-down effect into the Red Sox clubhouse and specifically the manager's office. Now, that's a long way off, I know, but I've seen this movie before. And at the time, we were all okay. We're like, yeah, Beltre, that was a walk year. He'll get back down to earth. And he didn't have many years like he had in 2010 again, but he had some pretty damn good ones in Texas, to the point where I was stunned, I'll admit, stunned this morning looking at his career stats to see that he hit 477 home runs. Like, I'm sorry, I had no idea. I was familiar with most of your game, Adrian Beltre, but that took me off the page. 477 home runs. One more season, he could have been in the 500 home run club as a third baseman. That's crazy to me. But it was a heck of a second act for Beltre, and it started with the Red Sox. I think they will be really, really gutted if Alex Bregman has a similar second act to his career the way Beltre did, because through the first whatever season, you take out 48 home runs in 2004 for Beltre, their numbers are pretty similar, him and Bregman, through their age 30, 31 season. And if they miss out on that second act, I think this town will be really pissed, even if the team is good, because they did win 2 more World Series in the time that, or at least one, at the time that Beltre played in Texas. But still, you missed out on a Hall of Fame third baseman for the latter half of his career. Anyway, let me know what you guys think down in the comments section below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Only about 10% of you watching are actually subscribed. We're bringing you this Boston sports content 5 days a week, live on YouTube, and then wherever you get your podcasts. Check out the other videos on the channel to see what I mean. I'm your host, Cam Stewart. Zach Burke keeps us on the air 5 days a week. The Cam Show is going to roll on. We're going to talk to Zach Burke, and we're going to find out what the best conspiracy theories are in the history of sports and which ones actually hold weight That's next on The Cam Show.
We'll be right back after these quick words from our sponsors. This is Rogue Media Network.
Welcome to Kitbag, the ultimate destination for football fans. Whether you're cheering for Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United, or any other top club, we've got your team's colors running through our veins. From official replica kits to custom player prints of your favorite stars like Ronaldo, Messi, and Kane, Kitbag is your one-stop shop for all things football. Powered by Fanatics, we deliver to over 180 countries, ensuring you get the gear you need fast. For true football passion, think Kitbag. Visit kitbag.com today. That's kitbag.com. Kitbag. For 75 years, Nalgene Outdoor has been your trusted companion, fueling adventures and helping protect the planet. We're committed to reducing waste, improving access to clean water, and providing simple, safe, and sustainable products for you and your family. No gimmicks, just durable, well-designed bottles built to last. Join us on our mission to amplify life, not complicate it. Because at Nalgene, what goes into our bottles matters as much as the adventures they fuel. Explore more at nalgene.com. That's NALGENE.com. Looking for tickets to the hottest shows, games, and events? Ticket Liquidator is your one-stop shop for great prices, no hassles, and guaranteed tickets. Since 2003, we've been connecting buyers and sellers, providing access to sold-out events at prices lower than most secondary market options. Whether it's sports, theater, or concerts, our massive nationwide network ensures you get the tickets you want, guaranteed. For the best seats at the biggest events, start with Ticket Liquidator today at ticketliquidator.com. That's TICKETLIQUIDATOR.com. Ticket Liquidator.
I'm Hunter, the founder of Hello Cake, and today we're digging into ED meds. The number one thing we hear is that guys are sick of waiting for ED meds to kick in. Traditional ED meds take about an hour to kick in as they have to go through your digestive system, where Hello Cake's ED medication dissolves under your tongue and works in about 15 minutes. That's about 3 times faster than traditional ED medication. Curious about ED meds? Go to hellocake.com.
And now, back to our show.
We are back to our show. It's the Cam Show on Rogue Media Sports Network. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We are live on YouTube just as we are every weekday, high noon Eastern time. Here comes Zach, baby. And this is what we're bringing him in for, the conspiracy theories. You ready for this? I can't hear you. No, I got nothing. I can't believe Kitbag does not have any.
What about now?
There we go. Yes. Okay. How about now?
It's a new setup. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get. There we go. Well, kind of. I feel like our parents with technology. I'm to that point now.
Well, you are a parent, so
that is true. So maybe it's just made me a little less.
Yeah, like 6 months ago, you were great with technology.
Yeah, and now I'm like sitting here like fixing the camera while we're doing it.
You've lost all of it.
Yeah, I'm like Vincent D'Onofrio doing media interviews of where it's just like, yeah, he's good, but there's something like he doesn't get something about acting or about technology or something. That's me. I get it.
Maybe there's a conspiracy theory behind that.
Oh, yes. So
anyway, I want to start with this. I do want to start with this.
Go ahead.
Because so this is our segment of the week, expediting from Friday. I want to look at the great conspiracy theories in the history of sports. You actually brought this to me, and I'm gung-ho. Like, I'm all in on this. And it's important that we do it today because my sports conspiracy theory of the year has gone down the shitter. It's done. The Lakers are out in 5 games in round 1, and my conspiracy theory of the NBA forcing the Mavs to trade Luka to the Lakers so we would have a Celtics-Lakers final and save the ratings is gone. Or maybe they just saw the ratings were coming back and they were like, all right, we don't necessarily need it.
Yeah.
People like Anthony Edwards too. Let's do this.
You know what I found so funny about that though?
Gone. Yeah.
It is, unfortunately, was that Mark Williams just tweeted out like a smiley face emoji after everything, after the Timberwolves won, which was so funny to me for some reason. But yeah, no, I thought that maybe that would be why we were, potentially getting Luka there to LA too. But I guess we were wrong there. So what I have for us is I have found what is considered like the 10 biggest sports conspiracies. Okay.
It's got to be like all NBA.
There's some, we can dive into it. Then I found a list of some that were sports conspiracies that turned out to be true. And then I found one on Reddit that I had never heard before that I wanted to bring up to you. That's early 90s NCAA basketball.
Okay. All right. Let's roll through this.
We'll start with the big one if my mouse will work. All right. So this is a top 10 list. And I think a lot of these are ones that you're going to be used to that both of us are pretty used to. Michael Jordan's first retirement was a secret suspension for gambling.
I kind of like this one.
I do.
I don't know if I necessarily believe it, but I do kind of like it. It's just the thing that kind of pushes me towards conspiracy territory. It's like him playing baseball because his dad liked it and his dad had just died. Like, that's like stuff you hear players thinking about but never do. It's just really bizarre, man. I don't know.
It is. This is one of the ones
and
that
this is like David Stern would cover up almost anything, I think. So,
and this is one of those that I like to give, like, it does give the most credence of, like, if you were trying to hide, like, you know, some sort of black eye, like the biggest star ever for your league, and it was something that you felt like, oh, this is not going to go over well, and you're like, yo, let's just retire and go play baseball. If that's something, like, even if like at one point in time they're trying to figure it out. Yeah. And Jordan's like, well, you know, I thought about, like, I've won a couple championships, I could play baseball. Maybe they're like, hey, go do that then. You know, like,
it's like The Godfather, dude.
Exactly.
Like, just get away for 2 years and you'll be back. I think out of 10, I would give this conspiracy theory a 6.
I'm with you. I think it's a little bit higher. I'd give it a 7. I tend to believe this one more than I don't believe a lot of conspiracy theories, but this is one that if I would put some credence into it, it's one that gets it. Here's another one. And just because I am in a bit of a different situation, I was unfortunately unable to get the video, but I did watch it this morning. And that is the 1985 NBA draft lottery being rigged.
Yeah. This might have been the first great conspiracy theory in sports.
So I don't know if you've seen the video, and I was hoping to be able to have it to get it to where we could talk over it, but alas, plans didn't work out this well. But I did watch it this morning, and I don't know if you've seen it or not, but it's the giant, like, it's not just like small envelopes when you think about it. It's like giant, like a letter on Wheel of Fortune size envelope, and they all throw like the 10 of them in there, and it's a giant plastic ball that they just turn over. And Stern does take his hands in, grabs a stack, flips it over, and then takes the one that's on top of there. So I think the theory that everybody had was that they had left one in the refrigerator or the freezer or whatever, so he knew it was the cold one. You can see just the look on the Knicks representation's face of just relief as soon as it's there, and just complete disappointment on the Pacers' face. But so this is one that I feel like has been around for a long time.
I believe this one big time.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. I think I don't know if it's the only number one pick the Knicks have had, but it's the last one they've had. It's been 40 years. For the most part, in those 40 years, they've been pretty dog shit, and they've not got the number one again. That's like, hey, I am doing you a favor here. Let's get this. And the Knicks were like okay, somewhat in the 80s. And Bernard King, I think at that point had started to get hurt. And they were like, we need another star here. You know, like Knicks Boston would be great. Knicks Hawks would be great. And I think I do believe in this one. Yeah.
I was trying to
look, like the league is taking off at this point, right? Especially out in LA, the second biggest market. New York's the biggest market. I think that would add a ton of intrigue to the league. And this was early in David Stern's career as commissioner. I think he's saying, screw this. We're not turning back to tape delay. Okay, Indiana, your time will come at some point. We're still waiting on it, but it will come at some point. New York is getting the number one pick. I give this a 9 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I will also give this one. I'll put it in the 7 territory. With
you think it's just as likely that Michael?
No, fine.
I mean,
fine,
it's okay.
Right.
It's okay. I'm just trying to get on the same page here, Zach.
You're right.
Okay. It's okay. It's conspiracy theory.
I get that, but you're right. I do believe this one has a little more legs than Mike. I'll give this one an 8 then.
It's easier to do. It's easier to pull off.
For sure. And you're thinking, like, I looked it up just to see. The Knicks have had 4 picks, not one since, you're right, since Ewing in 85. 63, they took Art Heyman, 64, Jim Barnes, and 66, Cassie Russell. And then
Ewing 3 in the mid-60s.
Yep.
And then 1 since.
In
Art
85.
Heyman, Long Island guy. Dude, great.
Indiana Pacers still have not got that number 1 overall pick.
Interesting. I think that one, last thought on it, is really high up for me because unlike the moon landing, there's not a lot of people that you need in on this to pull it off. The Knicks don't even need to know.
No.
You can have 2-3 people in the NBA knowing about it. That's it.
Exactly.
So I believe that one.
Here's our next one. Cal Ripken Jr.'s record save of games played was saved by an intentional power outage.
Hell yes.
I can tell the story that's listed here. Of people,
incredible.
It says in 1997, 2 years after breaking Lou Gehrig's record for consecutive games played, a game between the Orioles and Mariners was postponed because of an electrical failure that affected the lights at Camden Yards. This led to a wild rumor that the team intentionally caused the failure to save Ripken's streak when they learned Ripken would be unable to play after he got into a fight with Kevin Costner. Now, the fight that he got into with Kevin Costner was potentially because he caught Kevin Costner with his wife.
It was some story of like he was going to the ballpark, had to go back home. This is like a movie type shit. Had to go back home, and there's Kevin Costner with his wife, and he beats him up. He's telling the Orioles he's not going to go to the game, and the Orioles cut the lights. I also believe this one. I believe this one more than the Jordan thing. I'm going to give it a 7.5.
See, it does.
That was huge for the Orioles, especially baseball, but really the Orioles. They were kind of on the downturn, I think.
Oh, this one has a why it's probably bunk. Do you want me to give you that, or do you just want me to let you? It does say news reports at the time show that Ripken was at the stadium and sitting in the dugout prior to the power outage.
I don't know.
That seems like something they might have added afterwards.
Maybe he's getting to the stadium and his hand's twice the size of the other one because he punched Kevin Costner so hard.
That
doesn't take it away from me.
No, it doesn't.
I'm keeping with a 7.5.
No, he could still be there. And it's just like
because I want this to be true. I want this to be true.
Okay.
Like I want Kevin.
I'll
Costner,
give it a 5.
Once proud actor who is on the descent at this point in his career in '97 to pull off some shit of like, I'm the baseball guy. I'm going to sleep with Cal Ripken's wife, and Cal Ripken to show him who the real baseball guy is. And then he makes that, he starts making For Love of the Game after that. That came out in '98. So I want to believe this one. I'm sticking with my 7.5.
I'll give it a 5 just because the thought of Cal Ripken Jr. punching Kevin Costner in the face is funny to me.
I need that to be true.
All right. Here's the next one. Game 6 of the 2002 Western Conference Finals was rigged to save the Lakers season. This is the 27 free throws in the fourth quarter game. And then LA goes on against the Kings. Then they go on to 10.
10. This is a 10 out of 10. This is true. I mean, the refs got like, you think it was just Tim Donaghy acting alone? Like 3 years later, he's in prison.
So here's I do have saved for this from the research I did. In one of several allegations of corrupt refereeing, Donaghy said he learned, now this is secondhand from Donaghy, but still, he learned in May 2002 that 2 referees known as company men were working a best of 7 series in which Team 5 was leading 3-2. In the 6th game, he alleged the referees purposely ignored personal fouls and called made-up fouls on Team 5 in order to give additional free throw opportunities for Team 6. Only the Los Angeles Lakers and Kings series went to 7 games during the 2002 playoffs, and the Lakers went on to win the championships. At the time, also, this is interesting, at the time, consumer advocate Ralph Nader and the League of Fans, a sports industry watchdog group, sent a letter into Stern complaining about the officiating of Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals. The Lakers would beat Sacramento 106-102, the 27 free throws, and scored 16 of their last 18 points at the line.
Come on, man. 10 out of fucking 10.
Yeah.
Like, I know Tim Donaghy would have something to gain to put other people, like, throw him under the bus. But without names, he can't prove anything. So now he's just like, look, something else is happening here. It's not just me. This is a wider thing. And without names, he doesn't really have any benefit to doing that, really. And think about it. It would have been Kings and Nets. That's the worst nightmare for the NBA. You're just outside 2 of the biggest markets in the entire country, the 2 biggest markets. You're just outside it. You're not getting the New York crowd. You're not getting the LA crowd. There's no way this is false. This is absolutely true. I am so in on this.
Yeah, I'm with you
10
there too.
out of 10. If I could give it 11, I would.
This
like,
there's
too much smoke. It's not like this would be like the Jordan thing, but if 2 years later, John Stockton actually got suspended for a year for gambling. Like, it's like, oh, it's a conspiracy. Oh yeah, the refs threw a game. Yes. 3 years later, a ref was in prison for doctoring games. Yes, this absolutely happened. Yeah.
I will say, I mean, we're about halfway through the list. I'll just say this is probably the most believable one for me because obviously,
no doubt, man.
This one I don't know too much about. I'll be honest. I don't know if you do either, but the 1995 New Zealand national rugby team was poisoned prior to the World Cup final.
I got nothing. But international shit. Maybe that's the xenophobe in me.
I'll throw it out.
I feel like it's happened in soccer too.
Oh yeah, it just says in front of their fans, South Africa defeated the heavily favored New Zealand squad in the final of the 95 World Cup. Before the match, many of the members of the New Zealand team came down with food poisoning, and after the game, their coach blamed a mysterious waitress named Susie.
Important to note, where was this World Cup played?
Oh, let me look
South
that up for you.
South
was
Africa.
It really? Okay.
Yes.
Oh, Susie. It does say one of the team's managers on record saying Susie was not a real person. Instead, the day before the match and after the night out, a left members team feeling not fit. Whatever. All right. You might be interested in this one.
I mean, that has the most.
I could see something like that happening.
It's right after like the South Africa's having this moment, right? Mandela becomes president. There's apartheid's ending. Like, not to bring so much history into this, but
no, do it.
It definitely could happen. The Rugby World Cup, like, how many people are actually paying attention to the Rugby World Cup? Couple of nations? Those two, for sure.
The ones that are winning. It's kind of like, not trying to diss, because I know we talked about it, but like the Frozen Four. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, nobody in the state of Texas, unfortunately, is paying attention to who's playing in the Frozen Four.
Yeah, not really.
But
all right, what do we get?
You have a chance. 6, you might have. Let me come back to 6. Well, no, fuck it. Here we go. The NFL destroyed evidence from Spygate to hide what the New England Patriots were doing.
Yeah, it's probably the Patriots homer in me, but I don't see why. Like, I don't that it was going to be an even bigger scandal. I mean, they took away a first-round pick from them. Like, that is a huge kind of punishment. And then 7-8 years later, they like basically made something up to punish them again. So I give this a 1 out of 10.
So I'll read why it's probably bunk to do it. It says the tapes handed over to the NFL were from the 2000 through 2002 seasons, but reportedly did not include anything on the Rams walkthrough. The Boston
that was
Herald,
always bullshit. Marshall Faulk is still saying that.
The Herald later retracted their report.
Yep. John
And the
Tomasi
NFL
got totally duped.
And the NFL said that they investigated and found no evidence. Also, during a Senate investigation, a Patriots staffer told Senator Arlene Specter that several videographers were preparing for the game when the Rams started their walkthrough. They were in Patriots gear and lingered around to watch the practice and relayed what they learned to Belichick, but did not videotape anything. As for destroying the tapes, it's more likely, since one tape had already leaked, that Goodell did not want any others going public.
That's probably true.
So
I'm giving it a 1.
Yeah. I'll give it a little bit more just because I know that it's cool to hate on the Patriots.
You need to even this out, balance this.
I'll give it a 4.
Okay. 4. All right.
Pete Rose had a secret agreement to be reinstated to baseball after his lifetime ban.
So is this going to go with what's his name, Giamatti, and Giamatti dies, and all of a sudden the agreement's gone?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, maybe I don't really see how it benefits MLB. I don't necessarily see how it benefits like Bart Giamatti. I don't know.
It says Giamatti was replaced by his close friend Faye Vincent.
Yeah.
If it was a wish of Giamatti's to reinstate Rose eventually, it's likely Vincent would have known and would have honored his friend's desire.
Yeah, it's. I don't give much to that. I give that like a 2 out of 10. I think that, and by the way, you got to consider like Pete Rose was the one who kind of spread that around. Obviously,
yeah.
Like Pete Rose has lied his whole life, or did lie his whole life.
Well, and also if you're not trying to, either which way it is, but if you're trying to make people think like, that's why I did it. I was like, oh yeah, and I'll be the fall guy for this, but I'm gonna get reinstated. Like it makes you look like I was doing the right thing.
It's still not a. It's still I give it a 2.
Okay, I can agree with that. I don't put too much credence in that. In 1965, Muhammad Ali knocked out Sonny Liston in a rigged fight with a phantom punch.
The tape on this one's interesting, Zach. The tape is interesting.
The tape,
I don't really get it, but the tape is interesting.
It is. It does say when the video is slowed down, it is clear that Liston's head snaps. I will say the thing, I do know that Liston was involved in the mob in some way, shape, or form. At some point in time in his career of like taking dives. I don't know if it was for like the Ali fight, but also the first time the two of them fought, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on this or if you know, but I think it was the Tiger Bomb on the glove from Sonny Liston. That potentially the story goes where he blinded Ali and Ali couldn't see for like a round or two. Yeah. So I don't know. I would give this, just because it's Sonny Liston, I'll give it a little bit, like a 4. But
I mean, I almost don't even know how to score this in the sense that like boxing was rigged for a long time. Like in some way, not every fight, not every champion, but it was so easy to rig boxing matches, and it was controlled by the mob for so long. It might still, I don't know. Is anybody watching it? So
it's kind of like,
I mean, I guess I'll give this a 5 because it's like, to me, it's a 50-50. Any big match like that with a guy involved with the mob, I think it's a 50-50. So I'll give it a 5.
All right. You ready to put your hockey hat on? We got 2 more of the biggest ones here. And then I'll give the NCAA one for you that I have. So the 2005 NFL draft was rigged so the Pittsburgh Penguins could draft Sidney Crosby. Oh, I'm sorry. The NHL draft. Thank you. So the Pittsburgh Penguins could draft Sidney Crosby to save the troubled franchise. Okay.
If it has it in the description, does it have some of the other teams that were up for the first pick?
No, here's what it says of why they believe it to be true. Shortly after the Penguins escaped bankruptcy, it's good reasoning. The move escaped bankruptcy. They were still in trouble as a franchise and threatened to move to Kansas City. The team then won the 2005 draft lottery for rights to draft the wonderkind Sidney Crosby, and shortly afterward, an agreement was in place to build a new arena. Do you have
so the other teams? So the teams with the most, the 3 balls, were Columbus, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, and the Rangers. Teams with 2 were the Mighty Ducks, Thrashers, Flames, Carolina Hurricanes, Chicago Blackhawks, Oilers, Kings, Wild, a couple other small market teams. But the way they did this is coming off the lockout. So they had missed the whole 04-05 season. So what they did was they put kind of this algorithm together of like, how many times you've missed the playoffs the last 5 years, what was your combined points and everything. And they tried to do the draft lottery through that by how many teams would get how many balls. And this one does make a lot of sense. Now, the conventional wisdom would be like, why didn't they do it for the Rangers? But there's a double conspiracy theory on this one, Zach, because the conspiracy theory is that Gary Bettman told the Rangers, his hometown team, that down the line, we will get you. We will help you out. And that in 2020, when they had like ridiculous kind of long, they were slotted to be like the 4th or 5th pick in the draft. They got the number 1 pick and got, another season that's kind of weird. Nobody's paying attention as much, COVID and everything. They got Alex Lafreniere with the number 1 pick in the draft. So that not as generational as Crosby, but that could have been a way to, you pat my back, I'll pat yours down the line here. I kind of believe this one. So this was the second time the Penguins were about to be sold and moved. Actually, might have even been the 3rd time. Mario Lemieux had saved them and had bought the team and was a player at one point. Like he was looked like he was going to retire. He ended up staying 1 more year. And this was the generational, like this was the next Lemieux. And it was almost like Pittsburgh, obviously not a huge market, but a pretty good hockey market, great sports town. And they said, like, we need another Mario to save this thing. Mario will be running the team. We need another player like him, or else this thing's going to go tits up again. Like they can't run a team in this city. They need a new arena. This is the guy that's going to bring it to them. So I do believe in this. I'm going to give this an 8.7 out of 10. Lil Crosby, 87.
Okay. I am going to, because correct me if I'm wrong on this, because again, I am not the biggest hockey fan. I know enough to be dangerous, but the draft works the same way that all the other drafts work, right? Of where the lottery, it is the worst, but it is the worst teams that make up that lottery, right?
Yes.
So
they only lottery the top 5 picks.
Okay. So I would argue that also the years leading up to that Crosby pick, in 2002, they had the 5th overall pick where they drafted Ryan Whitney. In 2003, they had the number 1 overall pick where they took Marc-Andre Fleury. In 2004, they had the 2nd overall pick where they took Malkin. And then in 2005, they had the 1st overall pick where they took Crosby. I would also argue that the Pittsburgh Penguins were just a really shit team for a good streak as well.
Yes, they were.
So some of that in there is
Well, yeah, they definitely
being a bad team at the right time.
Yeah, they were tied for the highest odds technically still,
Yeah.
but it just seemed a little.
I
little
get
fishy,
I
so.
get your point
I
there
get-
too. I
you know,
will
I
give
get
some
that.
of it.
I get that.
I'll give it a 6. I'm gonna go a little lower.
And the other argument to that, to what you're saying, is like, look, how many times do we need to help you? You got 3 straight top 5 picks. So
exactly. Oh no. But this
I get
is the one. This is the one, guys.
yeah,
The last one on the biggest one here.
Crosby just turned out to be the one. Yeah.
The NBA rigged the NBA draft for the Cleveland Cavaliers after LeBron signed with the Miami Heat.
Yeah, I mean they were really bad though.
They were.
They were, to go to your point from the last one, they were really bad. And I think it's more likely that they would have rigged it to get LeBron James rather than after.
Oh, yeah.
Like, because let's be honest, like Pittsburgh does mean something in hockey annals.
Mhm.
Cleveland really doesn't for basketball. It's not a major market. I wouldn't call it a basketball town. Obviously, it does well when LeBron's there. They've got a great team right now, but this is probably their best non-LeBron team ever that they've got going right now. But it's not like this vitally important city to the league. So, and their owner was a dink. And
Oh yeah.
I just, like, to me, if the NBA is going to rig it, it's going to be for someone like the Knicks or the Lakers. It's
For
not
sure.
going to be for the Cavaliers. So I'm going to
Yeah.
give this a 3.
I'll agree with that because the other team was like the Timberwolves. Like whoever wound up with that. I mean,
Yeah.
you're not. So here's I'll end with this one because this is one I hadn't heard before, and I will get your opinion on. Put on your early '90s NCAA basketball hat here, okay? Larry Johnson threw the 1991 semifinal game against Duke. Final Four is the second biggest betting event of the year.
Mhm.
Vegas books cannot take bets on UNLV games. UNLV loses in the semis, and they can take book it says they can take book on 2-3 games. UNLV makes the finals. They can only take, I guess, a third of the book because UNLV is in the finals. I guess they're talking about how much action they can get then because UNLV would be in the finals of the NCAA tournament. So
Yeah.
and it's that, but it does say here though is how much revenue would the casinos give up by not be able to take these bets on the finals 2 years in a row? How much would you have to throw at Johnson? And maybe this person's throwing out these questions, but they do throw the thing here is watch the footage if you find it. Johnson could have gone to the rack for the tie or the win in the foul, but instead he hesitates. He pulls up, looks confused, passes to Henderson Hunt, who is in a very good position to jack up a 3.
Jacks up this 3 with a bunch of time on the clock.
Game over.
Or enough time on the clock. Yeah, I would think more on Anderson Hunt, but out of that possession. But here's where I'm not buying too much into this. The first part is those Vegas players were getting paid
already.
Okay?
Yeah,
those UNLV guys, they were getting taken care of out there in the desert. All right, they were getting taken care of. And the other thing is because of that, like you take it, and I hate doing this, but a lot of people did it at the time. Like you put almost a racial aspect on this of like UNLV was the very cool team, right? They had won it in 1990. They kicked the shit out of Duke. They were the antithesis of Duke.
Yeah, it's
right?
like a 30-point win or something like that, right?
Yeah, the largest margin of victory in championship game history still. It's exactly 30. And they were the cool black hip hop team from the West Coast, kind of, right? Close enough. And Duke was the elite private school on the East Coast that had all these preppy looking white guys, Bobby Hurley, Christian Laettner, and Mike Krzyzewski was their coach. So I think it would have taken a lot for these Vegas guys to throw that game. They really took it personally that they lost to Duke that second time around. And because they were getting paid already under the table, I don't think there was enough to convince Larry Johnson. So, but then again, everybody's got a price.
Yeah.
I'm putting this at a 4.5 out of 10.
I was there too. I was going to go with a 4. It was just a new one that I hadn't heard before. And so I was like, okay, that's an interesting take, at least, of like, they thought Vegas might not want to be able to lose that much on the books 2 years in a row because they did. They weren't able to take as many bets. And obviously all they could take is bets on Duke the year before when UNLV just runs roughshod over them. So that was it. Was there any conspiracy that you had that I left off?
No, I like the, I was going to bring up the Crosby one if you didn't. But no, I didn't even know about the UNLV one, to be honest with you. So, yeah, I mean, for me, it's the 0-2 Western Conference Finals. Like, that is almost a no doubt to me. That happened. And look, I mean, the Lakers went on to win the championship, so you can't take away from that necessarily. But yeah, that one.
Do you think? Sorry, just because it made me think of this real quick, and I'll add this one because I know Chris Webber still like brings up Game 6, like to Shaq when they're together. Sometimes and it comes up. Obviously, I get why, but then it made me think of Chris Webber because I know some people think that his timeout was on purpose.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think it was just a mistake. I think he thought he panicked and he was like, "Oh, I got," and then probably he was like, "Shit!" as soon as he did it.
And that's like he still struggles. Like I don't think he still talks about that.
Oh yeah, no.
So that's a tough one for me to buy. I think that was just a dumb moment.
I'm with you there too, but it just made me think of it.
Their best player, Yeah. So Western Conference Finals, big time. Other than that, we get some pretty good conspiracy theories on there. What we should do at some point is find out what the next one's going to be.
Ooh,
call it in real time.
Make our own. Oh, okay, I like this. Well, you already
I did one and it failed. We're 0 for 1. I'm 0 for 1.
Okay, I'll try to come up with one. Do we?
You don't have to right now. You don't have to think about it.
Good.
We'll revisit this.
Yeah, I don't think Nostradamus was able just to pull up all those things just right on the fly.
No, we got some signs. Yeah.
Yeah.
We want to know what you guys think. What do you think is the greatest conspiracy theory in sports history? Let us know in the comment section below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're here live on YouTube 5 days a week, high noon Eastern time, and then wherever you get your podcast. That was Zach Burke. I'm Cam Stewart. We will see you on the next one of The Cam Show.
Transform your workspace with Hanomi Ergonomics. From adjustable chairs to standing desks, we provide solutions for comfort and productivity, whether at home or in the office. Improve your posture, reduce strain, and work smarter. Visit us at hanomi.co today. That's HINOMI.co today. Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internex. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. Enjoy seamless, fast storage without compromising security. Visit Internex.com today and take control of your digital life. That's INTERNXT.com today. Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. Whether at home or on the go, NordVPN ensures your digital freedom. Stay secure. Download NordVPN today at nordvpn.com. That's NORDVPN.com. Sains, we understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Committed to excellence, we adopt a user-centric approach guided by ergonomics and medical science. With a team of seasoned professionals in R&D, design, and manufacturing, we prioritize quality across our entire product line. Visit twosains.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com.